If I told you 8 years ago that Jake Paul would go on to fight Anthony Joshua, I would have been laughed out the room.
And his chin served on a platter for that right hand right there.
But crossover and influencer boxing has become global. And we've just seen a former Viner and Disney Channel actor take on an Olympic gold medalist and two-time heavyweight champion. But through the money, the fights, the glitz and glam, the exhibitions, the pro bouts, and everything in between, how did influencer boxing even come about? Well, this place was the birth of it all. A gym in an English town on the south coast of England. A fight between two mates, YouTubers Joe Weller and Theo Baker, went down, all refereed by this man. And since that fight, this genre of boxing hasn't stopped growing.
I'm Sol Gilbert. I am the owner of Underground Gym. Former combat athlete, I guess. Boxed as an amateur, boxed as a pro, and also engaged in MMA. I started at MMA in 2001. Worked my way through the rankings on the MMA circuit, got up to about top 10 in the country, won the British and European title at a lower level. So I've kind of known Joe because I was training a few other sort of influencers and YouTube influencers and stuff. So kind of knew Joe. He reached out to me, he said, look, I've got this crazy idea. He said, you've got boxing in your gym. I said, well, yeah, I've actually just built it. You know, we're not open yet, but I literally, with the place was like behind the scenes. If you actually look on the video of Joe and Theo, you'll see that there's still bits and pieces all over the place. He said, look, I want to do like a mock fight with one of my guys. And I was like, right, okay. He said, can you help me with it? And I said, well, look, I'm going to be honest with you. If we're going to do it, we're going to fucking do it. You know what I mean? I said, you know, I'm not going to put my name to something or put my face up against something if you two ain't going to come out there and swing with each other. Let's give boxing the service that it needs. And he was like, right, okay, well, I've never had a fight before. I said, okay. And he said, and Theo, I mean, if you look at Theo, he was a little bit worried, actually, to be fair. But anyway, he was like, look, I've never had a fight before, but I'm game. I said, okay, cool, let's do it. So we ended up coming down. You know, the boys, give them their due, they're such professionals in what they do. Had all these little cameras up everywhere and everything else. And we kind of put it all together. And yeah, gave them a talk. Said, look, this is what you've got to do. It's going to be a proper bout. I'm going to score it for both of you. And you're both going to let each other have it. So that was the start of it, really. I mean, at that time, you know, it's 2017. I've been in the game, you know, as an athlete, as a fighter. Do you know what I mean? I've had, you know, like 20 plus years, right? You know, so I fought on some great big stages and everything else. And I'm all for everyone experiencing boxing and combat and all that kind of stuff and doing it in a way which is maybe, I guess, a little bit more relaxed than the competitive environment. You know, that's how people grow, and I'm all about that, nurturing that kind of stuff. But when you're talking like YouTube, and then you're going to put your name to something, you know, I didn't really want there to be a mock situation. It was like, look, if you both go at it, it's great. I'll be there to make sure that no liberties are taken. If I feel that you need a standing 8 count, you're going to get a standing 8 count, which I believe that he did. Theo, I said, and you know, Joe's obviously the more aggressive of the two. I said, but at the end of the day, I said, like, you know, you're going to come out of this knowing what a boxing fight actually feels like. You know, the nerves, the adrenaline, you know what I mean? The sort of like, you know, you're coming out for 3 2-minute rounds to try and take the other person's head off his shoulders. I'll give them their due. I mean, they did it. They proper swang for it, really. You know what I mean? It's like throwing a couple of fucking handbags, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was still fun to watch, and it was great to be part of.
You talk about being safe in there. All of the boxing fights that have come after that in terms of influencer boxing have all been, I guess, safe in the standpoint of mouth guards, properly officiated. Then you get the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. Now for you, as someone as a professional that understands what combat sports can do to the body, not only while you're in your prime, but also when you're older, did you sort of ever see that sort of stuff and have a strong feeling against it?
Yeah, it didn't sit right with me. I didn't even pay to see that stuff. I mean, Tyson was a legend, right, in his prime. People get confused, right? They have such a strong opinion about what a fighter is. A fighter, we're there to fight for money. We're prize fighters. That's what we do. Yeah, so therefore, if there's money, we're going to fight for money. Whether you're 50, 60 or 70, do you know what I mean? If you've got it there and you can earn 5, 10, 15 million, you're going to do what you're going to do. It's a shame that he got bought out of that situation and it was like a mock fight, essentially. It's a shame when it comes to that level because then you're not doing the game or yourself a good service. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it again. It's money. You know, people are there. It's entertainment. So if people are entertained up until that point, and then when it comes to it, then there's a big payday at the end of it. I can't begrudge them.
So there you have it. From the first ever YouTube boxing fight in a gym, to mega stadiums being booked, and the likes of Netflix picking up some of the events, which saw Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul become the most streamed sporting event in history, with around 108 million viewers. And after losing to Anthony Joshua, where does this leave Jake Paul and the YouTube boxing scene? And has the pinnacle of this genre of boxing been reached already? Time will tell if influencer boxing will keep its momentum, but even if it does wane a little, the journey, the progression, and the sheer scale of some of the events have been unbelievable.